Welcome to Awaken Human, where we rebirth sovereignty into your true self, bridging together mind, body, and spirit as we experience Earth as a soul in the human body, sharing channeled messages from ascended masters and our awakening journeys, including my own. I'm your host, Maeve. Let the journey continue. Hello, beautiful awakened humans. Today I am with Esther and Soulo'ra from Krystara Network. Esther, I'm really excited to have both of these beautiful souls for my first interview. Both of these humans / starseeds have done my logo, and so it's an honor to be interviewing them. They have a very beautiful process of what they guide you through with their healings, and just it's very intricate, unique, and nothing that I've ever heard of or seen. And what they are birthing and bringing into this world is just so beautiful to bring out your true essence when you're creating your brand and logo, and then all the other beautiful offerings that they have as well to bring together. Esther Soulo'ra comes from a yogic and shamanic background. She's now integrating and exploring her beautiful gifts through all of her multidimensional facets. She loves to create environments where healing takes place naturally, and this can be in her kitchen through food or through healing facilitation of any kind. It's in her design to create balance and magic in all areas of her life. And this takes place through her guided journeys Krystara calls the Odysseys. And she brings through starlight language, which is absolutely beautiful and angelic in its own self. And most importantly, her presence. And Soulo'ra Kryst is a multidimensional conduit intertwining the trinity of quantum exploration, architecting, and embodiment into a workable foundation for human re-ascension. Headlining in the spectrum of meditation and design, Soulo'ra shares his vibrational wisdom keys through Odyssey leadership and graphical Stargate design. And from a world in musicality to journal, his true essence is tangible awareness, which now transfers these diamond honed to reinstalling the crystal angelic codex into humanity and throughout Earth, Gaia, our beautiful Terra. And the Krystara Network was founded in the blue zone of Costa Rica, which is absolutely a magical place, and cultivated on the Hawaii of Europe Island and Madeira. And so together, Krystara partners together by using both of these words, Kryst and Tar. It heralds the definition of crystallizing the angelic new earth and recoding from the framework. So through Krystara, both Esther and Soulo'ra unites journeying togetherness and home into service of cohesion they call spheres that support the reclarification with your original blueprint. So lots to unpack just in that, what all that means. But actually, we're going to start with opening up into a meditation that they're going to share and guide us through. So if you are driving or not in a place where meditation is appropriate at this time, I would encourage you to pause, skip to the interview part, and come back to this. But otherwise, we invite you to settle in and create some space for yourself as they open up, guiding us into some of their beautiful workings. So go ahead and give the floor to you guys.
Delightful. So everyone, centering yourself wherever you are in this present now, into your stomach area, your central crystal pillar, and just feeling your now, feeling you, whatever it may be. And now from your stomach, grounding into the bottom of your feet. And as you connect into your feet, smoothly visualizing white crystalline roots descending down into Gaia through her various layers until they reach her crystal heart, the very core of her being. Know that you are grounded and aligned with Mother Gaia's highest vision and soul mission, the consciousness now. And as you are grounded within yourself, call for an ethereal stargate to come around your being, visualizing simply a pyramid if you do not know what a stargate is. And as it comes down around your body, allow for the knowing that is connecting to your nervous system, your higher dimensional chakras as the transmission centers, into every cell, biophoton, atom and molecule, electron and quanta space particle in your being. And as it is done, calling now for its activation. And we call for this activation in a strong 12-dimensional frequency, connecting the electric and the magnetic to create the superconscious electromagnetic throughout your being, throughout your angelic template, in this human version of you now. And as you vibrate, sizzling in these authenticity codes of yourself, in your heart center, you begin to see two pyramids slowly joining together. They glow in a crystalline, yellow, and luminous platinum gold. One is upright with the apex facing north, and one is upside down with its apex facing south. With 4 sides to each of them, they join together in your heart center and connecting to create the quantum generator octahedron. You see it rotate clockwise. And as you see it, call for the connection of the crystalline reservoir of Mother Gaia to come up into the bottom apex and into the center of the octahedron. And now call for the Aramatina gateway to come down through your body and into the top apex, meeting the crystalline reservoir in the middle. As both frequencies connect, You are now aligned to the organic, correct mathematical code of this universal 15-dimensional template. And as we call for the activation of this generator, vibrating in this authentic 15th-dimensional tone, Esther now calibrates this activation in through your DNA and RNA, strands and templates, cells and biology, to support you in your here and now present state.
Shikurman hod nierna or haud en korna me esterna. Yantarkur an eretus hod manir nielna nien oar kor hod esmin an o. Mishmur. Noshem ur katachet erna ian ea ar hu omerna. Shi conturna mo. Nian kur ner os ta anma. Nikashkushka iana. Nomer an heshe turna chone mine. Nian or kur an het orst an uane ar us an mo. Shikurna stern i u. Nur karta ian or an is en u. Shikur. Shikwa tu anarsha ayana. Yor na ken arhua. Nyorsha uana tor kahad ertaan. Nishmara ertar anne. Natasha.
As the quantum generator octahedron is now fully activated, it interlinks with your Stargate, with your nervous system, and your biological compounds that template your being. The harmonic fields of your being naturally resonate in a combined tone with your multidimensional Merkaba that sits within the very middle of this octahedron. Envisioning a crystal spiral in your heart, know that you, in the appropriate time, in the appropriate space, within this timeless and spaceless, beyond quantum verse of source, that you will download this upload for your highest Re-Ascension time stream. Dearest one, so now being present with the bottom of your feet, your solar plexus once more, that crystalline core. And we're very swiftly going to come back and be present into the body, following the countdown of 3 to 0. Now following 3, 2, and 1. We are fully back in the body, encrypted and encoded with our superconscious intelligence, and softly coming back into your avatar of human design, opening those crystal, dreamy eyes that you have to witness your world that you have sovereignly created. Now. And so it is.
Do we have to come back?
It is not much, but it's recommended. You have much to do. You could.
Oh, I was seeing these colors, like these purples and blues and yellows, and just feeling really grounded into my heart space. So thank you so much. So it was just a beautiful taste of your magic.
Oh, you're most welcome. The colors that you were seeing, it reminded me of what we was reading in a passage of book a moment ago, and the hue part, being HUE, it represents color, and that we are filled with such a grand spectrum of a multitude of colors. And you can say that it's very natural for us to see it when we expand a large variety of colors, that is, when we expand our consciousness inside our being and start to find that hue that makes us the human that we are. So I found that very intriguing.
That's really fascinating about the colors, because I feel like colors to me represent our soul's essence on a deeper level. Like on the astral plane, maybe we recognize each other from these colors. Our auras, they're filled with different colors, and they can kind of align to chakras potentially too, that are being worked on or anchored in, or just maybe even like star families, star beings. And like there's a lot that we don't quite understand what's happening when we're going into these meditations and seeing these colors. So that's a really beautiful um, perspective about the hue within colors too. I'd like to go in though and unpack this beautiful introduction to you both and share more about Krystara Network and everything that it is that you do, and maybe even touch on this angelic codex too.
Well, I would love to begin just to clarify something, that my last name, it's not Christ. I don't want to step on anybody's toes here, but it is Kryst. You can imagine the word Krystar. And the first part of Kryst, like Krystara, is indeed my surname. So I'm not trying to step on Mr. Jesus's name and not wanting to be more title presence. I just wanted to get that. But what we are sharing concerning Krystara Network and what its perhaps ethos is expressing is that we want to bring in our soul allies into a very simple, equal sphere of communion that just dances with our own authenticity and provide that in ways that is a representation of what we found and unlocked within ourselves, actually our own network. And this is where we decided to bring in the network aspect with Krystara. Would you like to say?
Yeah, so we come to this later, I believe. What some people know and some not, or are not aware of why this world is in this circumstance, how it is right now, because like you already mentioned, everything is color, everything is frequency. But with our eyes right now, because we had a downgrade in our DNA from 12 strands or more to now maybe having 2, 3, or 4, or sometimes 5 or 6 already activated, and we just lost this awareness of our heritage, of our source. Basically, this earth was already in a higher frequency state. Some call it Tara. So there are some definitions with Gaia and Tara, but normally it's like, I would say Tara is in a proper 5-dimensional space and upwards. And Tara is then from 7 on upwards. So this is the definition I found valuable for myself. And the crystalline mathematics have basically been here on Earth, but through many circumstances we come later to this. We had like a fall in consciousness and we were like coming down. I mean, not like in 2 seconds, but very fast. And then everything was stabilized in that which we know as a 3rd-dimensional field or frequency. So maybe not to see this as a bad thing, but really like being stabilized there. And now bringing back the whole Earth, the grid system and everything to the crystalline mathematics back into higher frequencies, very stable. So this is why some call it Re-Ascension. because we go back into a state we have been before, and everything will be new at the same time. So, to make it short, so there's the Fibonacci spiral, which is the false mathematics, and there's the crystal spiral, which is the right mathematics. And it's encoded in the number sequences of the Fibonacci spiral and the crystal spiral. And we are just inverted into a false mathematics. And this is why we are so, have all these kinds of lacks, lack of abundance, lack of relation, lack of power, and everything which is really switched and inverted. And what we are basically doing, and many other angelic humans, I would say, with our ancestors in the background, not only the bloodlines, but also the many star races and star families, is just bringing in the new frequencies, the new mathematics, stabilizing them through our systems, and then recoding the matrix. That's it, in short. And then meditating and using the light rain, which is just a beautiful thing to bring our true nature back, I would say. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is basically what we are doing through healing sessions or Soulo'ra's designs, and how we started to work together.
I'm curious, is there a difference between Tara and Sophia? Or are they a part of the same embodiment?
If I were to put knowledge aside and imprint an answer with my mind, I would say that the vibration of Tara and Sophia is quite different. For me, Tara, when I tune into it, she seems to already have a settled body, as in that name is allocated to a certain dimensional being, to which Gaia is in her higher self. For me, when I tune into Sophia, it is almost as if she passes through this planet, but she is also interconnected, perhaps doing Re-Ascension work on other vehicles of planetary body, and also throughout other beings as well. So that's me just tuning in real and raw right now in a frequency sense. Though with the mind, I've known Sophia to be some form of a codex, some form of unlocking that can happen within us. And with a similar answer from the mind, Tara has been associated as a form of goddess as well. Do you have anything in that regard?
Yeah, as you said, for me, Sophia is not so solid. It's more like a consciousness, which is going through. I'm just going with what you said, actually. Yeah. And bringing this consciousness back, because it was here before.
Yes.
Yeah. All the feminine wisdom, the connections, the wisdom, the flow of life, which happens actually totally natural. So this state we have right now is far beyond what we are able to perceive and to give and receive into the field and to create. Yeah. And we are doing a great job right now, really. So Soulo'ra is always like, couldn't it be faster? Couldn't it be faster? And for me, wait, we are already fast.
Yeah, take a few moonwalks back. Zoom.
I feel that. Sometimes it feels slow in the way that we want this acceleration to happen. And at the same time, it is going super fast. But it feels like in that slowing down, it's also really giving our bodies time to recalibrate on a deep level that we're needing, like our cells, like to literally come back online. And because it feels like if we weren't in this slowing down, that we might be in like a malfunction with our hardware and see more of a psychosis potential I think the propellant or the desire is like to not be in suffering, because there's a part of us that knows what it's like to not be in the suffering. I'd like to go into as far as the Re-Ascension. What is it that even makes us be in a place where we are re-ascending?
Well, when we come into 3D, we are often faced to our awareness as human beings that we have no memory. And this indicates a separation from our angelic selves. Angelic in this sense meaning the template of authenticity that belongs to our soul and ourselves to our soul, communion. There is this separation that happens. And when we go into 3D, we are going into an inorganic environment that is inorganic because it hasn't got that connection with source. And when we don't have that connection with source, there is the ability to have many fields of inversion placed within it. Inversion not necessarily bad and not necessarily good. It is simply to say that things aren't of the ability to actually operate in full DNA capacity and commune with source as we would do in more of the divine nature, as it's linguistically spoken in words.
It took me a little time to understand or to understand more that it is a remembering. I heard some of the humans or the angelic humans who are doing a great work here since years, actually always hearing this, oh, it's only remembering, and I was so closed up at this time. And now I really understand, because it's our true nature. We don't go to somewhere, and actually we also, it's nothing to do in the sense that we have to force something. And my own remembrance kicked in many pieces. That is not an ascension, that it is a re-ascension, and we all, I'm really sure about this, we are here to help this happen, and we all ascended already maybe 100 or 1,000 times, or doing it right now as there is no time, in different planetary systems and on different planets, in different dimensions, as we are multidimensional beings. And this is just a crucial part of this time, that we remember that we are not only in this physical body and have not only this expression which might still play out, lack of something, lack of health or lack of abundance in terms of money or resources or whatever it is. And it's good to include the awareness that this is not the only expression we have. We have expressions on other timelines and frequency bands where we live already, going out of the suffering. And this is just, for me, a crucial part of this whole reascending. Most of the programming in our bodies, like you said, is readjusted to the original mathematics or to the crystal spiral mathematics. In the moment, it's like a little bit tough. I mean, we have in between really still, we purge a lot and really coming to core. We had to reboot and recode, because it's just not possible to go on right now with these old programmings. But then, whoa, next plateau, the next plateau is coming. And then also maybe circumstances which before just blew me away are becoming more easy.
When we go into these depths of forgetting, coming back to alchemize to our truer beings and our truer essence, and it seems like what you're really tapping into as well as with this re-ascension is just going into where we, in other civilizations, other lifetimes, we've already done this process, and most of us as starseeds, or whatever you want to call it, the name, give that term, we have done this before, and we're here volunteering to help support Gaia and Terra get back to that place. I think she also had, I'd as her blueprint, she originally was ascended and in a higher consciousness, but when we came to have this experience, it shifted that to where now we do forget and we're reascending. So I think that's a beautiful way to put the reascension, is because we've already done this in another life too. So not only are we redoing it on Earth, but we're redoing it from other lives too, where we've already had this as a part of our beingness, and we already know what this is. And so that's part of our drive, our force, where we're really wanting to get back to that. And I think this is really good to go into, like, what does make you an awakened human?
To realize you was not ever asleep in the first place. Which actually very beautifully links into what you said and what we have been discussing between the three of us. That this whole process of ascension is a re-ascension. We have done this before, and now we're doing it in a new way to expand the potentiality of human potential, galactic potential, universal potential, and multiversal potential, and so forth. And awaken, to me, if I really personally relate to it, it is to know that, hey, I was not awake in the first place. It is that act of sovereignty to actually command your realization back. And what I mean by that, not to codify it, it actually means just to step into your power and actually just to be you. Be as authentic goes, and realize that you are who you are. And that's what the Re-Ascension consciousness, if you will, is actually waiting for all of us. For each of us, we have the crystal keys that creates this metaphorical rainbow bridge, but literal Stargate network in through the heavens, the multidimensional universes, to return back to source. And they can only be activated when we claim who we are. And we see that in very pragmatic terms, really be who you are. Perhaps don't give a flying FUCK about the irrelevant, people's opinions, and to reclaiming your worth back. These well-known criterias of stepping back into you, it's all part of that. So whether we're saying Re-Ascension, whether we're saying awakened human, whether we're saying just be who you are, bub, it's the same thing, just in a different guise, in my perspective.
Yeah, and really going from this victimhood and the victim mode into our creator mode. And this does not mean that this consciousness is really stable all the time. It might be that something happens and you blame someone. In my perception and in my experience, the more often you stop blaming and bring it back to you and just feel whatever comes up for you and then go on. That's one of my favorites, where I see that I'm an awakening process, as I mentioned before. Right now, for myself at least, I can say reaching higher states of consciousness, and still sometimes things like, whoa, okay, where I am right now, and just having the awareness to bring me back into a higher vibrational state. So there's also the choice of vibration, really. So if I don't feel good and I suffer, I can suffer and go on with it. That's my choice. Or maybe have a protocol or whatever I have, what helps me, my tools, reconnecting to nature, whatever it is, to come out of this mode and really choose my frequency and then act from there again. Yeah, and being aware of our thoughts, emotions, how we interact with the field, how we create, how we manifest. I mean, we are manifesting all the time. It's not just particular things like, I want to have this car, or I want to have my dream partner, and all these manifestation games you can find out there in the spiritual playing field, so to say. More really being aware how you vibrate, because what you vibrate out, you create.
It's waking up out of the disillusionment moving out of the illusion of the Maya, out of the mind, and realizing like both of those deeper layers of our true beingness and who we are, and not what our mind creates in the story, and also recognizing like the power and fascination that how much our mind can take us into the depths of being a creator within those lower aspects of it too. And like you said, in the victim consciousness and shifting out of a higher awareness of this is happening for my soul's evolution, to experience myself as source, as a part of source, as a part of the creator. There's so many different ways that we can call this what is being an awakened human. There's so many different umbrellas that we can put this under. It's really just what's going to help a person on their journey bring into more awareness as a conscious being, and whatever vibration that is, if it's going to resonate with a person, beautiful, great. You know, we're all on the same trajectory in that way. And I wonder if you can share a little bit about maybe the catalyst or what started for each of you your own awakening journeys. What made you start to shift into this consciousness, this awareness?
I would actually say for myself, in memory, releasing who I was predominantly around in my mid to late teens, actually. Releasing who I was around so I would not be in the resonant frequency of those that were not yet ready to appear into what may be going on in this Maya. And through that, I actually became quite depressed because I was so bound to a circle of friends that I grew up with. And, you know, the irony of that metaphor is who I grew up with was actually not growing up at all, but actually growing maybe down into just more unawareness. So the moment I stepped out of that circle is when that depression led me into start feeling and investigating more of these inner sensations I was denying, and that opened up a steady vacuum of the extraterrestrial reality, the inevitable sincerity of life being multidimensional, to how extraterrestrial beings are interacting with this planet, other planets, and to what is our inherent superpower, nature. So this is what really started to be the germination for me, and I just kept following the breadcrumbs until they became inevitable loaves of bread. And 10, 15 years later, I can slice those loaves of bread and make sandwiches out of them. And this is my coming to humanity to radiate myself and offer something quite tasty to eat, so to speak. And nature is a sovereign thing, and being in nature, coming out of a citadel, that was a very important thing. And the realization on a deeper level now, I know science and epigenetics have long ago perhaps realized the potency in how our environment affects us. Though what I speak to is that indeed, in real shifting of my own life into authentic time stream trajectory, that being in Mother Nature, untarnished, being wild, being crazy, being explorative and experimental with this new consciousness that I was uploading into my system was very revelatory, and many multidimensional faculties came online for me there that I'm still uncovering, actually, if I were to be true to my word.
So really late in my awakening, I would say. So even, and it comes to something what Soulo'ra explained right now, it's really a lot to do with your surroundings. So today, I would say, even in my early 20s, I already had some glimpses, but it did not really come through because there was no one around me to whom I could speak about these things that I experienced. So I just still played the game of dimming my light down and staying in my old patterning and lower vibrations. Until actually maybe, so really going up as the last 5-6 years, And one of the things was that my light language just popped up randomly during the day. So if someone asks me, how can I learn my light language? It's like, I have no idea, to be honest, not now. Maybe listen to light language and just tune in and start. Let it just come out, but it just randomly popped up during, I don't know, the washing or the cooking. So as I heard my own voice in my head and my lips started to move, and then I could allow it, and it still took a while to find out how it works and that it's not only a one-way communication. It's like receiving codes and also recoding. And then I left my surroundings like Soulo'ra. So I left everything behind and had really a lot of breakups with people I knew before. And then, like a bit over a year ago, we met. And then really everything amped up since we met the first time.
Yes.
So everything got quite accelerated. Yes, and also having experiences with ayahuasca or mushrooms. This really helped also to open up my awareness to things I normally would not be able to see during my normal state. But now they integrate quite well, and it's, yeah. So now it really is just flowing and opening up everything.
So when you first had the light language coming through, was that alarming to you? Did you know what was happening? Did it feel natural? What did that feel like for you?
So it was really, first, it was just a happening. So without me thinking really about it, and also not really taking care of this gift in a way for many months. So frequently I would allow to speak it, but only for myself, because in the beginning I had really problems with it to speak it when I was surrounded by friends or people, because they were so different and I still allowed to be myself to suppress it. And actually how I perceived it is that there was coming light in my body out of nowhere. Until this point, I was not aware that it's just like really a straight connection to the quantum field, I believe, and like a recoding tool. And then I started to explore it. I had a beautiful channel with the 9D Actuarian Council, which made it really on the point and clear why I'm here, what my mission is, and the different possibilities to use light language, really. And really, you just have to explore it and to allow it, sit with it, let it come out still, or speaking it out has also a different quality. And then you have to show it other humans and see how they react and what is going on there, and really allow it. Even if it looks crazy, if crazy sounds come out of it, if your hand makes crazy things, it's just good to explore it and allow it. And then also, if you want to translate it, just allow it and then say to yourself, oh, now in English or now in German or whatever it is. And then you also have bits of pieces which then translate to verbal channeling. So at least for me, it was a good thing to start to channel like this. And it just happened. It just started really randomly. I never asked for it. It was just a happening. It's really the DNA which is activating, and then things are just coming up, abilities coming online again. Yippee.
All a part of your soul's blueprint, and just allowing for what feels foreign to a human to be. And it's not crazy. It's a deeper knowingness, and you allowing that is allowing for you to see yourself and these beautiful pieces that you're bringing through, these codes, and I think sometimes it's interesting process. Like, we think that when we have an awakening, it's going to come with these full force gifts online, and sometimes people will get in doubt or feel less than. And that's usually not how it goes, typically, at least as of right now, with where we're at in these densities. And so I think there's even like another death process in that, because it can feel crazy and unnatural in some ways. And then we have to allow that to resonate deeper into our being. And so then you allowing that to play and have fun with friends, or even though they may have thought it was weird, and allow that truer knowing with your light to come through is just really beautiful and a part of the process. Soulo'ra, I'm curious for you, finding your loaf of bread. What does it take? Anything that you can help people ground into as they are continuing to find their loaf of bread?
Certainly, I would speak to what you have just been saying about it's not like we have been maybe told or shared to concerning our gifts. That when they come online, it's not like, bang, okay, Superman time. It's often a slow germination. And that is certainly how you would conglomerate many, many breadcrumbs into a loaf of bread, is to actually give yourself the honoring space that we're designed to take it slow. For example, I ventured to Ireland for the first time at the age of 22 several years ago. And there was a renowned Canadian healer that felt my energetic and could read it to say that there was an real important purpose for you in your life. And she made the statement, that it's going to be a slow unfolding like a flower does. And that's a beautiful memory and also a precise note point to speak through right now, because when gifts come online, as we are truly one as a network, as humanity, sometimes these gifts are, I would not say held back, but they are given the time to tailor so you can point them in the right direction to serve humanity where it is right now. Often humanity doesn't need the supernova. In this moment, at least, what I've come to find is that we are most benefiting as a collective, tailored expressions of our talents. And this is not dimming them down, but it is quite like the invention of a torchlight. We have converted that energy, that electricity, into a capsule, a battery, that fits a mechanism to shine the light that bit more focalized and with purpose. So speaking to the loaf of bread, we must become a loaf of bread together. Enlightenment, we return to it, like the metaphor goes. What did you do before enlightenment? I chopped wood. What did you do after? I chopped wood. In my perspective, in this now, it's because everyone else is not enlightened. If it was, then there'll be no need to chop wood. So concisely speaking, yes, take it slow, honor your pace, and be very real with your humanness, because you are already super conscious. What the superconscious doesn't know yet is how you are going to choose it as the human.
Yeah, we have to create that base to even start to create the loaf, putting all the ingredients in, and there's a certain level of kneading that's required, and yeast having to rise, and then baking it and making sure it doesn't burn. It's a whole process.
Yes.
And that requires a level of delicacy and attentiveness.
Yes, and while the bread is in the oven, you don't go there every minute. "Oh, is it ready? Is it ready? Will it be cool?" No, the bread is fine.
That's great.
Everything's good, yeah.
That's true.
Even though we want to go and check to see if the bread is ready. And I think that's going back to even this like urgency, this part of us that's ready to have humanity be fully online again. And we want all these beautiful loaves of breads everywhere. And I think once we have it, though, there'll be a part of us that was like, oh man, did we enjoy the process though? This is so magical that I have this beautiful loaf of bread, but was I dreading that the whole time? There's parts of me that I think that I feel like I want it so bad to be fully in that place, and recognizing too that there'll probably be a grieving process in some way, like that's going to miss these aspects of our humanness that are really beautiful ways that we get to learn, and that won't be a part of our process anymore. And so it's like both, where you can see this just juiciness from the bliss and joy and ecstasy that is just waiting there for us while we're alchemizing, and so how can we like appreciate and honor both parts of this, that coming back online, the re-remembering, and also know that there's like this totally different state of consciousness and paradise waiting for us. I'm curious too, how has it been to navigate awakening as a couple?
Ooh, this is what you all wanted to hear, huh? I'm a go. I'm really joking. It's been real stripping of me as a man, of me as a human, and as me as an independent, actually. What I mean by independent is actually really my own power, superpower, really comes with unifying with Esther. And it's something I haven't known for 3 decades now. And this is almost the greatest uncovering that I could just bathe into and go deeper to the infinite depths that is possible. Because in this coupling, navigating this re-ascension, it has almost been the gatekeeper that I have been waiting to communicate with. I'm speaking metaphorically here because it's something I couldn't linearly really put. It's been riveting. It's been softening. It's had me needing to awaken my compassion and realize life is not about me. This took me out of the head. It sprang me into the body. It's made me dense enough in the sense of getting on the bandwidth of reality that I'm available for life, and that I actually had a subtle non-inspiration to actually be part of it before meeting Esther. And so she has really offered a large portion of my true sense of self to me. I think as half of this couple, I won't take too much of the stage.
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
So many times I really was challenged. Because we met and it was very clear, okay, we will go together. And then we met for some weeks in Glastonbury. I flew back to Madeira, and then I had to catch him because he was like, no, I am on my path. I'm doing my things alone right now. And because he was utterly just right coming out of a relationship, actually.
Yes, a marriage.
A marriage, yeah. And I was very strongly guided in the beginning to meet him. So really, I had very strong guidance to meet him and to trust him. And got some information in the beginning. If I would have that not, then maybe we had some situations where we thought, okay, better. Maybe it's better. Everybody is doing his own thing again. But we always just worked through it, really. And found out how to maneuver together. which basically, if you break it down, if there's a trigger or something comes up, to share it, to sit with it, and to find out what program, what mechanism is working here right now, and to integrate it, to heal it, and to choose again. And this is what we really
have been practicing
and doing many, many times, countless times.
partnership kung fu.
And just the last days, again, we found a new level of commitment and connection, and how all this is connected to our business, what we call an Is-Ness, because it's not something we do or what we are busy with, it's our beingness. And really, I'm in it. We had an appointment. We knew we would push each other's buttons a lot. And me being some years longer here on the planet, I just could collect some experience and really maneuver us through it, and bringing the divine masculine really in this body, so it can now be in this world. So it was really a challenging time. We had also the most joyous experiences. So a lot of up and downs, I would say, Captain Soulo'ra. Yeah, but now things like calm down and settle. And so vision is more coming up now, really online.
Yeah.
So we have really one stream. So our two consciousnesses really come into one stream. And there is exactly in our connection where the power lies. And I actually knew it from the beginning, but choosing connection instead of disconnection, if we had these triggers and stuff going on, was really a main thing, I would say. Always coming back to the connection, always coming back. And now these two streams, they just align and flow like a huge river in one direction. And now here we go.
Relationships are your biggest teachers and really allow us to go into those depths of places we can't otherwise with just ourselves sometimes. And it sounds like what you guys are saying is just this deeper level of allowing you to deconstruct. Because like, as you said, like, even what does it mean to be a man? And you know, there's these pieces or programs, or we have our triggers or our programs that say we have, that this means X plus Y equals Z and you have to do it this way, and that's not how it works. And so like just really showing up to continuing coming back to deconstructing these places of ourselves, but coming back to the harmony and within it of love as being the bridge. And you said that your connection also continuing to show up to love. And I'm wondering what has helped you to bring that into like more conscious awareness of coming back to love despite a trigger or something of that sort coming up.
Feeling. I can say directly, feeling. You know, there is a differentiation between vibration and incredibly, it can be so subtle. Esther has really taught me the art of presencing, as we both call it. And coming back to connection, it's via that, I can say.
Yeah, so mostly we, if something's coming up now, we really sit with it, look at it, what it is. Sometimes it's just something to feel through. Sometimes little child aspects or frequencies come up. Sometimes it's past or parallel life stuff, which likes to be integrated. We also had to do with implants and stuff. So it's very severe. We learned, and the best thing is really not to procrastinate it and to take care of it in the moment when it is happening.
Yes. Voice yourself. Voicing oneself to the other in the moment has been very, very important. Because when you express your energy, it begins to unravel from the illusion that the mind often grasps, and thus the self can degrade into. But the moment that you directly express it to another, to your partner, whomever it may be, then the reality underneath it really very quickly comes. And there isn't much thing to navigate when that reality has come to the surface. Because like I have fully mentioned, that when you feel, then you are able just to be real. And when you have a real, there's no need to go fishing. That's a nice pun. A real. When you have a real, there's no need to go fishing.
Yes, and I love that. And it also sounds like the deeper piece too is going at it from a higher perspective without taking something personally. Like how what's the opportunity here for us to alchemize something? Like you said, is there an implant going on? Is there something in past life? Like how do we understand this as a partnership supporting our alchemization, and then also allowing us to feel these depths, like you said, like the tapping into feeling. And I think especially what we're seeing too with males, there's not as many males that are awakened right now because of the programs and shutdown aspects around feeling. And I think that's absolutely like required, and going through this awakening as a couple to be able to even have that basic foundation of allowing feeling. And as I'm saying this, it's 11:11 here. And so I think that's just a magical, another like ping, yes. Yeah, feelings so important. And that's going to allow us to have all those spectrums of the unpleasant and
yes, and really being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's really a great key, especially in the beginning. Really sit, you breathe with it, and you just allow it, because on another level, it's just a program which is just running to your system, and it's just going out while you witness it, so to say. If something comes up, it's just a program, it's a frequency, and it wants to leave your body. So it makes space for more of your authentic self to come in. And if you get this, and then you understand after these releasing phases, you just get more confidence, you feel better, you can relate better, you feel more connected, and every time you bring pieces back, it's just amazing. So it's worth the challenge, I would say.
Yeah, it like that too is just a deeper piece of shifting out of the victim consciousness as well. Like it's allowing to bring that into harmony, into balance, to be able to do that in the relationship container. I think that's just like where the magic lies for our awakening too. So I want to jump ships to talk a little bit more about the Krystara Network and the very, very exciting piece, and just even from my own experience, this offerings that you put together is just really beautiful. They go through a process where they start with clearing your land first and using sacred geometry, and then there's a healing session involved with Esther specifically, and we had, in my own journey, had done one of my timelines. We're working on just being more grounded and coming up with my gifts and sharing them in the community. And we had gone through a timeline where I had been a nun or some sort in a monastery. It ended up coming through, and I was wearing a chastity belt. And that was really interesting for me because when I had first done a Reiki healing session, I felt a chastity belt on my body, and when we were working on my sacral chakra, and it went like pop, 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 pop. And it was really powerful to have that connected. And then when we did the timeline, this I believe it was I knew it was Arcturian, like Pleiadian hybrid aspect of myself that was a great communicator came through. And then we went through another Stargate meditation journey, and Isis came in and had given me some secret weapons too for my gifts, and the unicorns, all kinds of beings were there. It was a party, quite the party happening. And then we went into the logo design, which I had no idea what I wanted to do. And this like magical unfolding came through with using my direction, my vision, my goals, and I ended up coming into this beautiful image of the mind body spirit connection and being the spark of the awakening journey, the awakened human. So but just love for you to share kind of, I guess, that process, like, of what made you put your service together and the birthing more of this Krystara network.
I would say what you speak to is what we call Stargate Exodus, and it's in our healing sphere. And that's all about rebalancing yourself. And it concludes, as you say, Maeve, with our logo design, which is a Stargate. It's a literal graphical Stargate representing who you are in the superconscious form. And at the same time, it acts as a medium point between who you are, what you're offering, your service, your business, to your true nature. And often, for people to get to that true nature, they need to go on a journey of themselves. And so we brought together the currently 3 nodes or spheres in Krystara Network and funneled them in to Stargate Exodus. So we can ready people to first clear their environment, get to know who they actually are, what is their arrowhead shooting point, to then, of course, releasing a lot of the trite, a lot of the bullshit, to them really, when they've released that, they can go on a journey and find these key codes that they may have not seen before. With all of that come together and conglomerated, we have seen simply, and we have felt, moreover, that readies a person to really actually be propelled not only to take on a Stargate logo design, which will reverberate throughout their whole life, but actually transpire throughout their entire life. You see, a lot of us are so bound in the unknown debris and density of life we've taken on multidimensionally. And so when we clear that, we are more than ready to actually burn up, be on fire, and truly be ablaze in this world.
Yeah, and so Krystara came up the first time. It was during our stay in Costa Rica. And actually you picked it up first. And then basically Soulo'ra invited me to do a togetherness business, Is-Ness. And then the whole creation started. And right now, basically, we had really like a period of 10 moon cycles, like a pregnancy, and then birthed it. And for me, it was in between that I thought, okay, you have these things you can do. I have this. Maybe we make a process out of it. Because really all the time the knowing that our higher dimensional aspects, they are already connected. And the thing is to bring it into these vessels so they can act here as well and play with each other and bring it out here. So it's already happening anyway. It's just on us to restructure and let this, what we call trauma, this old programming, bring this out and us in. And then anyway, it just will take its own move.
Yes.
And then Soulo'ra actually was recording meditations before, and then one afternoon he said, "Oh, come on, let's do a meditation together." And I did the facilitator training 3 with Jerry Sargent already. So I thought, okay, why not? And it's just whatever we do together, we learn so much. And it's just evolving and evolving with every little thing we do together, basically.
Yes. So everything that is actually the potency points in our connection is actually going into Stargate Exodus. But beyond that, just all what we share with Krystara Network. And the point that Esther made that we don't have a business, but we have an Is-Ness is such a crucial delight actually for us to share, because being who we are is actually the gift that we can only share, and at the same time that's the greatest effect that we'll have on ourselves, humanity, and the planet. So what better way to really bring ourselves together, and more of it.
Yes, please.
Bring us more.
I love this just because I feel like right now we're needing more, which I think we've had this conversation too, like we're needing more collaboration, co-creation with our gifts, and there's so much more power that we can have by bringing in these spiritual gifts together that can amplify the field and just do so much more for humanity than could we alone, which is what we're moving towards in general. So I say yes to more of this, and also would love to hear what does Is-Ness mean?
We is who we are. To speak in slang. We are who we are. It's an Is-Ness. And we decided to strip away the business into Is-Ness, because the definition of it just suits just simply our own energetic signature. What we've created as Krystara, it doesn't fit into the mold of a business architecture. And so from ourselves, we playfully just looked at our own connection again, and we ourselves inhabit our own Is-Ness as our own environment. And so Krystara is an environment of Is-Ness.
Yeah, and it's just not separate from us. Other people, maybe they go and they make business, or they go and they go to work and do something which is separate from their daily life, which is here totally not the case, because we are always connected. We are always sharing what we perceive, what is going on. So it's such a delight to have a partner. You can we basically share everything. We tune in together, and it's just not. So what for me the greatest aspect is not separate from our daily life.
We live it.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, if you could say so.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Precisely that.
Yeah, so it's how we are. So Is-Ness and not a business. So we are not like busy and
No, we're Izzy.
we let it flow. Yeah, because there might be also more behind to be busy and work on things.
Yes.
More go into a flow state and allow things, and not to be too rigid, which does not mean you have no focus and bringing things together. But in the end, I just want to have my day and my life flowing. And if I think I do some things tomorrow and then something comes up, which is on a higher frequency or a higher timeline, then I will welcome that. So I'm focused and on it, and on the same time fluid with it, I would say.
Yeah, so business is like 3D. Is-Ness is like 5D.
Yeah.
And beyond.
It reminds me of like Yeah, that it's about bringing an intentionality to that word through anchoring in your presence. And then also makes me think of like and so it is. And so it also like alchemizing a little bit of that essence into the isness and as above, so below. It's the is of what is, the presence and that purity of our consciousness instead of something that
Yeah,
says we
very,
have to keep this motorboat running.
yes, very well. We are very well expressed because we change all the time. Our frequency is upgrading all the time now, and so our isness is. It's not rigid.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe tomorrow something else pops up and it changes. It's a consciousness itself. It's not
Yes.
rigid. So we listen and interact with it as a
Yes.
consciousness.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And we include Krystara in our meditations because it's alive. It's literally a light city, and it's a consciousness that's waiting to come into humanity's awareness. And so, of course, then, just like with Prageet and Jules, with Alcazar, we are ushering in universal master technology, so to speak, through Krystara. And because it's who we are, we put it into a template that we can fundamentally function in 3D through, and at the same time bring them together so we can rise together.
We had met through the Stargate experience, and it's a little bit more about Soulo'ra's saying with Jules and Brigitte. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Stargate brings is a sacred geometry that allows us to anchor in higher dimensional consciousness. And I know for me, this just activated my gifts. And with you two using the Stargates, I'm curious if you could explain a little bit more, because I'm understanding that there are Stargates in the cosmos, they're here on Earth. Can you explain a little bit more about the nature of a Stargate, the depths of to where it all goes?
So in the very beginning, we spoke about the fall of consciousness and why it is a re-ascension. And in this multiverse, there are several streams of consciousness which feed our energy centers, which we call chakras or transmission centers, how we relate to them. And all this is connected to the different grid systems in the earth, the ley lines, the dragon lines, and so forth. So everything is really one mechanism, one functioning together. We are on the way back. So Earth is so important and so controlled in a way, and we are so suppressed in our consciousness because there are many stargates here, which are basically interdimensional travelways throughout the Earth and into different planetary systems. So imagine, did your consciousness come on Earth? So there are travelways, there are pathways. And one of them, so there are 12 together, which are connected to the tree of life, connected to our advanced light body, to our DNA. All this is one piece. And there was one Stargate, it's the Arimatina Gateway, and it was brought down in an intergalactic war. This might sound now maybe a little bit crazy, but we only do not have wars on this level. We have it also on higher dimensional planes. And mostly it's of controlling these stargates, these travelways. However, this Stargate, Arimatina, was restructured. So this stream of consciousness from the original primary sound and light fields and the God worlds can come in again. And this is why we can up-level our consciousness again, because we can now really connect to our source and not only recycle life after life after life. And this is how we came in and how we can leave the time-based matrix, actually. And this is the only way, and it was not possible for a long time. And if you go deeper into it, in every area here on Earth where there's war, they tell us it's about the resources, about the oil or whatever, and it is not. Always there's a Stargate. And this is just part of our remembrance, how we are coming here, how we used to travel. So just imagine your Merkaba field is totally online and you go into another structure, which is not like a Stargate, like we see it on Netflix. So it's a geometrical form, and your field is really the detailed fit on a geometrical level. And then you think of something and you are there on another planet or in another planetary system. Like, you pop out and it's like, whoa, okay. So traveling not only with your consciousness, but really taking your full activated body. So this is only a small part of it. So, yeah. But it's really a huge part of our stories, because there was always war in this multiverse, and we are close coming to an end, really. So it's not only Earth which is involved. There are so many other planets which will rise on a frequency level and upgrade, so to say. This is why we are so supported. So many beings and extraterrestrial races, star families, however you call them, because Earth has this special role here. So basically, we could really enjoy this process more and be aware of the bigger picture and not lose this from time to time. It's like, oh, we are crumbling down because we are in need of something, and always going back to this bigger picture, really. So for me, it is a huge support still to remember this and being aware of it.
Yeah, it's so much bigger than we remember right now. As you were talking, there's so many pieces I was getting, I was thinking about this, but in this, like, the structure here, like, it's almost like if you were to take these points, it also feels like our Merkaba would fit appropriately in there. I don't know if that's a connection. I've never thought about that, or I guess here, these points, like the Merkaba could rotate in a way in there. And Alcazar has said that when humanity is ready, that the Stargates will be used to teleport between, and the Merkaba is our way of light body traveling, which is also our superconscious projecting our light body, our image, into another place. But the Merkaba is like a security blanket. It keeps us safe for that projection to happen. An encapsulation where it doesn't. I guess I imagine that if we didn't have a Merkaba around us when we're traveling, that there's a potential for it to like dematerialize or maybe not fully appropriately get projected.
Yeah. If you would go in one of these, you would probably be grilled. Yeah, so your mathematics have really to be done. But I remembered during the training how we came here. So it's just maybe it just takes time to take all this wisdom back, and if our DNA goes on with activating like it does, it's just an ongoing process. So actually it's nothing to worry about. It's just happening right now.
Yeah, I feel like this topic in itself has so many so many
yeah.
layers. So I'd love for us to do another like deep dive into this another time. I guess for anybody out there, if they're curious to go start learning, is there any resources available, or also want to put out there the contact information for you too? How can they reach you? How can they connect with you? Any other resources to help guide people into?
Well, firstly, you can get a lot of unlocking information to which Esther codified in her sharing with you all just a moment ago on ascensionglossary.com. That's Ascension, and then the word glossary.com.
I'm not sure if it's .com or .org, but you may link it, yeah.
Yes, either .com or .org to that. And it has a plethora of intel that acts as insight on the worded platform, but also as you read it, as we both have found out, that you actually unlock, unravel, unfurl your DNA and the information stored therein, and so much more. With that, our website, personally, is simply Krystara.network. Krystara, KRYSTARA.network.
Yeah, that's us.
That is us. And there's a rainbow outside as we speak that out.
Oh, again, yeah, we had one in the beginning. And basically you also can find us on Instagram. We just found out yesterday that this is our main focus for now. So we also have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
And both of them you can find at Krystara Network, Instagram at Krystara Network, and the same with YouTube as well. All the same.
Beautiful. Yeah, I will put all of those links for you all in the show notes. It has been such a beautiful time with you too, and I'm really grateful to
always,
have
thank
connected.
you.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your authenticity, your beautiful wisdom, and all that you have to offer with everybody. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we wrap this up and close out?
I do not know. If you are interested in Stargate logos, we certainly am really honored to share that we are really lowering our offering gift, meaning our pricing for them until now, or whatever date this is released, until the Lion's Gate. So feel free to check out our website. You will find all about it there. I find that's a very wonderful sharing to share.
Yeah, and wherever you are on this beautiful planet, just show your light and just show your light. It's needed.
Radiate.
Let your beauty shine. And thank you very much for this possibility, Maeve.
Yes, Maeve, thank you for holding this space.
Yes, like always, it's really a pleasure to collaborate with you.
And keep soaring in your beautiful stairway into your own Re-Ascension journey. Precious soul.
Yes. Well, thank you, yes, all for joining us today. As Esther said, don't forget to share your light with us. It is needed. It's beautiful. And its purity just as it is. So I'm sending you all so much love. And until next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to Awaken Human. I hope this empowered you on your spiritual awakening and knowing thyself. The key to awakening lies within each of us, and by embracing our authentic selves, we create a brighter, more compassionate world. If you like this episode, share your story and tag me. Don't forget to subscribe for future episodes and leave a review or comment. Until next time, may you continue to awaken to the infinite possibilities within.